A gracious good day to one and all once again. 'Tis I, Norton the First by grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, back with you once again for episode 65 of Emperor Norton's fantastic history vlog. Today is June 8, 2020, and it is our 85th day under a shelter-in-place order here in San Francisco. As you can see, we're coming from the deck of the Imperial Gardens today. It's such a beautiful day here in San Francisco. A few clouds in the sky, but not a bit of fog. Speaking of which, we are quite concerned about our friend Carl the Fog. Now, although we've seen him around, he has not been on Twitter since January 19th, so if anybody knows his whereabouts, please share them with us. We are quite concerned. Well, let's get into our, today is catch-up day, as you know, because we have to cover Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So let's begin with our national days. In addition to being the Dowager Empress's 100th birthday on Saturday, June 6th, it was also the anniversary of D-Day, Drive-In Movie Day, Russian Language Day, and Yo-Yo Day. Not Yo-Yo Ma Day, Yo-Yo Day. Sunday, June 7th, VCR Day, remember those? Daniel Boone Day, National Chocolate Day, Junebug Day, and National Cancer Survivors Day. And then today, June 8th, is World Ocean Day, Best Friends Day, Name Your Poison Day, and Upsy Daisy Day, whatever that may be, not sure. Let's get into our events from San Francisco history now. Once again, using the wonderful book by John Ralston, This Date in San Francisco, as our source. We begin with June 6, 1864, because that was the day that Mark Twain begins his brief reporting career at the Morning Call. Didn't do very well, according to some accounts. He was actually fired at one point, and we can get the page to come up here. Sorry, the thumbs are not working properly this morning. Here we go. Friction developed between Twain and Call editor co-founder George Barnes. In October 1864, Barnes advised Twain to resign. Twain said it was the only time in his life he was ever discharged, and it still hurt 40 years later. In fact, the Call was a blessing in disguise. That winter, one Jim Gillis, a mutual friend of Twain and Bret Hart's, invited Twain to stay with him in a cabin on Jackass Hill. And during his stay, Twain heard the story in a nearby Angels Camp, Calaveras County, about a chronic gambler who bet on a jumping frog. Twain embellished the story, and it became the celebrated jumping frog of Calaveras County, the story that made him famous. So getting fired from the Call was probably the best thing that ever happened to him. June 7th, 1789. Get a little shadow today. That is the day that San Francisco opened its first public library. It was on with ceremonies and speeches by Andrew Smith Halliday, the inventor of the cable car, and others. It was on Bush Street, as a matter of fact. Of course, we have many, many fine libraries here in San Francisco today, and we hope they reopen soon. That would be nice. It was also on this date on June 8th, this date today, rather, June 8th, 1962, the Presidio of San Francisco was declared eligible as a National Historic Landmark. Official dedication was held the following February 25th, 1963. A bronze plaque was unveiled, placed by the Secretary of Interior, John Ailes, who was there that day, stating the Presidio, quote, possesses exceptional value in commemorating and in illustrating the history of the United States. Of course, that would eventually become part of the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, which is a wonderful network of state and national parks surrounding the Bay Area. Well, let's get into our other events. Going back to June 6th, sorry for the shadows this morning. Maybe if we come a little bit closer, that'll make it better. The Young Men's Christian Association was formed by George Williams in London on June 6th, 1844. 1939, the ship the MS St. Louis, carrying 907 Jewish refugees from Europe, begins sailing back to the continent after it was refused entry into America. Approximately a quarter of those on board would perish in the Holocaust. Terrible thing. 1944, of course, D-Day, Operation Overlord, begins as 156,000-strong Allied expeditionary forces lands in Normandy, France during World War II. On June 6, 1965, the Rolling Stones released their single, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. And I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried. I can't get no. 1968, Robert F. Kennedy dies from his wounds after he was shot the previous night. 1972, David Bowie releases his breakthrough album, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. 1991, June 6th, NBC announces that Jay Leno will succeed Johnny Carson as the host of The Tonight Show on May 25th, 1992. Should have gone to Letterman. And in 2019, on the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots, New York City Police Commissioner James O'Neill apologizes for his department's actions during the 1969 raid on the Stonewall Inn. Bummer. Quiet. June 7, 1665, the Great Plague of London. 1864, on June 7, Abraham Lincoln is renominated for U.S. President by the Republican Party. 1909, Mary Pickford makes her screen debut at the age of 16. A little noisy out here today, isn't it? 1939, King George VI and Elizabeth become the first king and queen of Britain to visit the United States of America. 1965, Sony introduced its home video tape recorder, priced at $995. You can get one for about $30. No, you can't buy VCRs anymore. But I think you can buy Blu-ray players for about $50. 1965, the Supreme Court of the United States decides on Griswold v. Connecticut, effectively legalizing the use of contraception by married couples. Can you believe that? 1975, Sony introduces Betamax video cassette recorder for sale to the public. It was considered to be superior to VHS, but VHS won out. 1977, Anita Bryant leads successful crusade against Miami gay rights law. Oh, did she set off a firestorm. 1998, James Byrd Jr. is dragged to death by Sean Allen Berry, Lawrence Russell Brewer, and John William King in Jasper, Texas, in a racially motivated hate crime. June 8, 1912, Carl Laemmle incorporates Universal Pictures. 1959, the X-15 makes its first unpowered flight. 1964, The Little Old Lady from Pasadena is released, recorded by Jan and Dean. Go, Granny, go, Granny, go, Granny, go. 1993, drag queen RuPaul, to call her simply a drag queen is not enough, releases her debut album, Supermodel of the World. Well, let's get into our births today, or actually for the weekend. June 6th, aside from the Dowager, her 100th birthday, we had in 1755, Nathan Hale, the American Revolutionary War patriot, who said, I only regret that I have but one life to give for my country. 1928, former California Governor George Duke Majan. 1955, Sandra Bernhard. 1967, actor Paul Giamatti. On June 7th, we have artist Paul Gauguin, actor Jessica Tandy. 1940, that was 1909 for Jessica Tandy, by the way, 1948 for Paul Gauguin. 1940, singer Tom Jones is still with us. 1952, Liam Neeson. 1958, Prince. 1959, Mike Pence. Happy birthday, Mike. 1978, Bill Hader from Saturday Night Live. And 1988, actor Michael Cera. June 8th, architect Frank Lloyd Wright. In 1867, 1921, artist Leroy Neiman. 1923, Malcolm Boyd, American Episcopal priest and civil rights activist. 1925, former First Lady Barbara Bush, rest in peace. 1927, Jerry Stiller, who we just lost recently, rest in peace as well. 1933, Joan Rivers. 1944, musician Boz Scaggs. And 1944, Don Grady from My Three Sons. Our deaths today. June 6th, actually, is what we're going back to. 1799, Patrick Henry, American revolutionary and founding father, famous for his "Give me liberty or give me death" quote. 1961, Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. 1976, billionaire J. Paul Getty, also great art collector. 1979, Jack Haley from The Wizard of Oz. 1991, musician Stan Getz. 2005, Mrs. Robinson herself, Anne Bancroft, sorry for all the noise. 2006, one of the fifth Beatles, Billy Preston. 2013, Esther Williams, the great swimmer and movie star. 2015, Ronnie Gilbert of the Weavers. 2019, Dr. John, the Night Tripper. June 7th, we have the deaths in 1937 of Jean Harlow, 1954, our inventor of the computer, Alan Turing, 1963, Zazu Pitts, 1965, one of my favorite actors, Judy Holliday, Born Yesterday, Adam's Rib, The Solid Gold Cadillac, classic, wonderful movies if you've never seen them. 1967, writer Dorothy Parker, one of my favorite quotes from hers, I like to have a martini, 2 at the very most. After 3, I'm under the table. After 4, I'm under my host. 1980, writer Henry Miller. 1996, Max Factor Jr., makeup inventor. 2015, Sir Christopher Lee. Moving on to June 8th, 1809, Thomas Paine. 1845, President Andrew Jackson. 1874, Cochise, the Apache leader. And 2018, Anthony Bourdain. We're still very sad about that. Well, that wraps it up for this edition. Sorry for all the noise today. We thought we'd try something a little bit different. Lovely background, isn't it? Until we meet again, oh, there go the streamers in front of my face. Stay safe. Stay inside. If you go outside, wear a mask. Be smart. Be kind to one another. Oh, we're seeing so much cruelty and stupidity these days. Don't be stupid. Until we meet again, a gracious good day.